Ever get that feeling like the internet is stuck on repeat? Some internet trends, they never really go away. They just kind of evolve. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a prime example of that, something called Eternal September. Now, you're obviously plugged into the online world, but I'm betting you haven't heard of this little nugget of internet history. It involves the early days of the internet, a time when online communities were like these exclusive clubs. We're going way back to the days of AOL dial-up and the Wild West of early Usenet think, like Reddit's older, much crankier cousin. And we're going to uncover how this Eternal September, changed the online world, like forever. So before we had social media influencers and viral cat videos, online life had a very different rhythm. Picture this. It's the early 90s. The internet, while starting to grow, is still mainly the domain of, as Wikipedia puts it, dedicated computer professionals and hobbyists. These early adopters were logging on to discuss, like, technical manuals, share code. It was a world where knowing your TCP/IP protocols was practically a requirement for entry.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, we'll explain that bit in a sec. The point is, online communities back then, small, close-knit, focused on a shared passion for technology. And the epicenter of it all, Usenet. Think of Usenet like a giant network of forums, each dedicated to a specific topic, from programming languages to, yes, even troubleshooting your dial-up modem.
Oh, those are the days.
It was a place where knowledge was king and newbies were. Well, let's just say they were noticed.
You knew who the newbies were, that's for sure. What's so interesting about these early online communities is that they were like the founding fathers of internet culture. They were establishing the rules of engagement, figuring out netiquette before it was even a word.
Right.
This period of slow, organic growth, absolutely crucial. It allowed these communities to self-regulate, develop their own unique identities.
It was like the Wild West, but with a set of surprisingly strict social norms.
Oh, absolutely.
And every year, these norms were put to the test. Thanks to a phenomenon that became a running joke among the early internet crew, you see, every September, something hilarious would happen. The veterans, those who'd weathered a few internet storms, would brace themselves for the annual influx of newbies. The wide-eyed college freshmen with their brand-new internet accounts.
Like a flock of birds descending.
Exactly. Imagine, you're deep in a discussion about, say, the nuances of TCP/IP.
Which is how computers talk to each other, by the way.
Right, exactly. And suddenly you're bombarded with questions like, what's a modem? Or, how do I make this text blink?
Oh, yeah, the blinking text.
Yeah.
Classic. And as amusing as this annual newbie invasion was, it actually played a critical role in the internet's evolution. Oh, yeah. These new users, while sometimes a bit clueless, they brought with them this wave of fresh ideas and perspectives. It was a powerful reminder that the internet, even in its infancy, had this incredible ability to connect people from all walks of life, regardless of their technical know-how.
That's a good point.
But it also highlighted a fundamental challenge. How do you scale a culture? How do you maintain a sense of community, of shared norms, when the floodgates open and new users are pouring in faster than ever before?
Right, like how do you keep things from getting messy?
Exactly.
It's like your favorite indie band suddenly going mainstream.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Sure, more people are enjoying the music, but it's just not the same, is it?
Quite.
And this brings us to a pivotal year in internet history. 1993, the year the internet's metaphorical September never ended.
1993, that was the year the internet went from like a simmer to a rolling boil.
Right.
Remember those AOL trial CDs?
Oh, yeah.
They were everywhere. You couldn't escape them.
You'd get like 3 in the mail every day.
Exactly. And you know what they offered? Access to the internet, including, you guessed it, Usenet.
But this wasn't just the usual September wave of college students.
No. This was AOL unleashing its massive user base onto the unsuspecting veterans of Usenet.
It's like opening the floodgates.
We're talking about a tidal wave of new users, not just in September, but all year round.
Wow.
It was like someone left the faucet running, and the faucet was connected to a fire hydrant.
Can you imagine, like, those poor Usenet veterans?
Yeah.
Used to their niche communities, their in-depth discussions, suddenly, bam, they're thrown into a digital mosh pit of newbies asking what a modem was.
Oh, absolutely. Talk about a culture shock.
Social system overload.
And with this massive influx of new users, the internet's landscape changed forever.
Yeah.
This wasn't just about, a few newbie questions popping up here and there. This was a seismic shift from a niche community to the masses, fundamentally changing the way people interacted online.
It's like that moment when your favorite indie band goes mainstream.
I see what you mean.
Suddenly, everyone knows the lyrics.
Yeah.
But that sense of shared discovery, that feeling of being in the know, is just not the same.
Not quite. You lose something along the way.
Exactly.
And the interesting thing is some people, they saw this coming. There was this one programmer clearly in tune with, the shifting tides of the internet, and he actually created this program called State.
State.
It wouldn't tell you the actual date. Instead, it would always display September X, 1993, with X counting the days since that fateful month.
Oh, wow.
Like a tongue-in-cheek memorial to a bygone era, a digital reminder that the internet would never be the same.
Sort of like a remember when.
Exactly. Remember when the internet was ours?
Good old days, right.
Well, every generation has their version of that.
That's true.
But that brings us to another fascinating piece of this puzzle, this whole Eternal September thing. A site called Meatball Wiki.
Meatball Wiki. Never heard of it.
See, back then, people were already analyzing and dissecting these online shifts in real time using these early online platforms that would eventually pave the way for the wikis we use today.
Right.
Meatball Wiki is like a time capsule from those early days of the web. Their page on Eternal September, aptly titled The September That Never Ended, gives us this incredible peek into how people were experiencing this phenomenon as it unfolded.
Wow, they were documenting it in real time.
They were, and they even drew these really interesting parallels, comparing Eternal September to everything from the dot-com boom to the rise of instant messaging.
Really?
Yeah, it's fascinating.
So they were already making these connections way back then.
What's really insightful is that Meatball Wiki recognized that Eternal September wasn't just about Usenet. It was a symbol of the internet's rapid commercialization.
Oh, I see.
The dot-com boom, instant messaging, these were all symptoms of a larger trend. The internet was becoming more accessible, more mainstream, and inevitably more commercialized.
Like the Wild West was being tamed.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
And just like those early Usenet users grappling with, the effects of this massive influx of new users, we're still wrestling with the implications of those changes today, just on an even grander scale.
Absolutely. It's a legacy that continues to shape the internet as we know it.
So, okay, we've gone down this rabbit hole of early internet history. You might be thinking, why are we dredging up this blast from the past? What's the relevance to, my life today?
Because Eternal September, see, it wasn't just some, blip on the internet's radar. It was a turning point. The internet we use today, with all its, its wonders and its frustrations, it's a direct result of those changes back then.
It's like the Big Bang of the modern internet almost.
Kind of, yeah. It set a lot of things in motion.
So those challenges those early online communities faced, managing growth, establishing norms, dealing with all these different communication styles, we're still kind of grappling with those same issues today, just, on a much larger scale.
Oh, absolutely. It's like those problems were put under a microscope back then, and now we're seeing them play out on a global stage.
Right. And it's easy to look back at the early days of the internet with, rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah.
But Meatball Wiki, they actually touch on this.
Yeah, they make a good point.
They argue that, yes, this influx of new users definitely brought challenges, but it also injected this huge surge of creativity and diversity into the online world.
Totally. It's like comparing, a carefully curated garden to a wild, untamed forest. Both have their own unique beauty, their own value. And the internet we have today, for all its, quirks and flaws, it's a testament to that untamed growth, the incredible diversity of voices it brought online.
It's true. I mean, the internet today is this sprawling, messy, often chaotic space.
Yeah.
But it's also a space for incredible connection, for creativity, for knowledge sharing. It's a bit like that global village we always hear about with all its, complexities and contradictions.
And that's why I think this whole Eternal September thing is still so relevant today. It reminds us that the internet, it's not the static thing. It's always evolving, always reflecting who we are, both individually and as this global community.
So the next time you find yourself scrolling through your social media feed or diving into an online debate, take a moment to remember the tale of Eternal September. It's a good reminder that the internet, for all its complexities, is ultimately what we make it. And that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us as we explored this fascinating and maybe slightly obscure piece of internet history. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and as always, keep shaping the digital world we all share.